Good morning. Today I'm going to teach you a new lesson from your book Beehive, and the name of the lesson is Packing, written by a very famous writer Zeram K. Zeram. In this, the writer this extract is taken from Three Men in a Boat, which is a very famous story written by Zeram K. Zeram. Here the writer is telling you about how important it is to pack the thing and how it should be packed when we go on a trip or we go somewhere out of the station. So many tips are given to us in a very humorous manner. You will enjoy the story also, and at the same time the writer has made us realize he has realized he has make us aware that which thing we should keep first, which thing should be taken when we move away. So let's start. First I will be telling you something about the writer, then the background of the story will be told to you, and of course the explanation will be done. So here I begin my the lesson. So children, first let me tell you about writer Zeram K. Zeram. That means Zeram Kalpa Zeram. He was an English writer, and basically he was a humorist also, best known for his comic travelogue Three Men in a Boat. In 1889 he had written this book Three Men in a Boat, and it has become very popular. Now he was born on 2nd May 1859 and died on 14th June 1927. So here we are going to read this extract from Three Men in a Boat. And here, packing is an act. He basically want to emphasize that packing is an act of putting together a group of things wrapped or tied together for easy handling or carrying by a person while moving from one place to another. So he throws light on packing, how to pack the things, which should be kept before, which should be taken in a journey. So in this extract from the story Three Men in a Boat, he has tried to emphasize on the intricacies. Intricacies means details of packing while going on a trip somewhere. So there are three men. Okay, first is the author himself, the author, and there are two friends are there. The name of his friend is George and Harry. So they were going on a trip. Now, children, it is Zeram ki Zeram. He feel that he is very good in packing. So he offers the other friends that he will be doing the packing himself. The other two are very happy. They sit and relax. But actually, it was the intention of Zeram that he should not do the packing. He should only supervise his two friends for the packing. He would be giving only instruction and not to do that work by himself. He only wanted to give him instruction and wanted to supervise them so that they can do the packing in a very nice manner. Well, packing, I mean, that process with those three people proved to be very long and tiring. Things were packed, removed, forgotten. The whole exercise was clumsy and absurd. Well, the two friends now decide to take over. The confusion worsens. Things break, got lost, were misplaced and forgotten. Now, children, one more character is there, though it is not in a category of human being. They have a pet dog, Montmorency, and his entry added fuel to fire. That means something happened to them when they were packing when the dog came, increasing the existing chaos. Finally, the packing was completed and they retired. The argument before sleeping was as to when they would have to get up the next morning. So, children, there was a lot of what to say hodgepodge. There were a lot of chaos when they were packing the things, and then, but at the same time, you will not feel bored. The whole scene of the packing is very tiring. It's very long, because this chapter name itself is a packing. So the whole story revolves around packing of a thing when these friends have to go to a trip. And here the narrator himself is the writer himself is the narrator. Now children, before you read, before I explain, few bulletin points are given here, and let us read that those points. Do you like going on trips? Of course, everybody likes to go for a trip. What kind of trip do you enjoy most? How do you feel about having to pack for a trip? Have you ever discovered on a trip that you have forgotten to pack a few things you very much need, or that you can't find them easily? Now children, two things are put you. Children, sometimes we forget the things and we take packing for granted. We tell you, okay, we will keep that thing in the last moment. We feel okay, acha, we will keep that thing now. We will keep when the time of leaving will come. It will be second to take those things and put it in the bag. But children, that is not fair thing we are doing with ourselves. So we have to see, we have to in fact make lists, and we have to see what things we have to take, and then we have to keep accordingly in a bag. So he's asking, have you ever discovered on a trip that you have forgotten to pack a few things and you very much need, or that you can't find them easily? Does this make you angry, or does it make you laugh at yourself? Now read this description of how the author and his friends pack. So one day the author and his friend, they have to go for a trip, and they had decided to pack their thing. I said I would pack. Now children, it was the intention of the writer that he should come forward and start the packing. In fact, he did not want to pack by himself, but rather he wanted to give the instruction to his two friends, that is George and Harry, that how to pack the things and which things should be put first. Packing is one of those many things that I feel I know more about than any other person living. Now the writer is having this feeling that he is expert in packing. What he feels that I know more about than any other person living. It surprises me myself sometimes how many such things there are. I impressed the fact upon George and Harris and told them that they had better leave the whole matter entirely to me. Now children, he told his friend, though not to worry over the matter of packing, leave the whole matter entirely to me. They fell a suggestion with a readiness that had something uncanny about it. Uncanny means, you can see here it is already written, strange or weird. So they fell into means they accepted his invitation. What was the invitation? That leave whole packing to me. That means I will be doing the whole packing. And these two friends were very happy. Oh, they got rid from the packing. So they finally agreed. They had something uncanny about it, but they were feeling they fell into the suggestion with a readiness that had something uncanny about it. George spread himself over the easy chair and Harris cocked his leg on the table. So George make himself comfortable on the easy chair, and Harris cocked his leg on the table. Cocked means he just crossed his leg, he just and sat on the table. So the narrator had intended that George and Harris would pack and he would boss over them. When they relaxed, he was irritated, because his intention was that he should supervise them how to pack the things. People not doing anything greatly irritated him. He could not sit still and see others working. He would enjoy getting up and overseeing others working. He hated seeing people doing nothing when he was working. So this was his nature. So he was a bit irritated, and he told that actually it was his intention to supervise them. Now let's see what happened. Uncanny means a few new words are here in paragraph 1, like uncanny. Uncanny means strange. And children, cocked means, you can see these two words here, cocked and uncanny. So uncanny means here strange, and cocked means raised his legs. This was hardly what I intended. What I had meant, of course, was that I should boss the job. So it was his intention that he should supervise. Boss here means supervise the job, and that Harris and George should potter about under my direction. Potter about means to do some unimportant thing. To do some unimportant thing. This was hardly when I intended. What I meant, of course, was that I should boss the job and that Harris and George should potter about under my direction. I pushing them aside every now and then. Oh, you, here, let me do it. So, children, he wanted to hear this thing. Oh, you, here, let me do it. There you are, simple enough. Really teaching them, as you might say. So, children, he wanted to say some of the word while doing the packing, like that was the guidance word for the person who were packing, like oh you, oh here let me do it, here let me do it, let me here let me teach you how to do it, there you are, simple enough. So these are the really teaching words for the person who are doing the packing, and he want to use these words. That means he wants to guide them how to pack the things. They are taking it in the way they did. It irritated me. But children, here something else has happened. His friends George and Harris, they thought something else. They thought that he want to pack everything, and he said that's why they were relaxed. Now this irritated him. There is nothing does irritate me more than seeing other people sitting about doing nothing when I am working. So they were very much irritated. They did nothing when I am working. It was a very painful thing for him to see that other people are sitting when he is working. He was not able to digest that thing. I lived with a man once who used to make me mad that way. Now children, he is sharing one of his incident of his life, Zaram ke Zaram. He is telling, I lived with a man once who used to make me mad that way. He would loll on the sofa. Loll means sit. Here loll means sit. He would loll on the sofa and watch me doing things by the hour together. So he is telling he would loll on the sofa and watch me doing things by the hour together. He said it did him real good to look on at me messing about. He said it did him real good to look on at me messing about. Now children, so he used to the narrator used to think for hours, and he said it did him real good to look on at me messing about. Now I'm not like that. I can't sit still and see another man slaving and working. Now I'm not like that. I can't sit still and see another man slaving and working. Now for the first time he felt, in fact it was his nature, that nobody should slave him. That means nobody should give him order, and he is working and somebody else is giving order. It was not his nature. I want to get up and superintend and walk around with my hands in my pocket. So I want to get up and superintend and walk around with my hands in my pocket. Now children, he want to become boss and tell him what to do. It is my energetic nature, and this is due to his energetic nature. He don't want to accept slavery. That means he don't want to accept order from other. Instead, what he was telling here, he would like to give the orders to other, and he can't help it because due to his nature. However, I did not say anything but started the packing. Well, at that time he could not say anything to his friend because they misunderstood him, and he could not say anything because it was he who has offered them that he would be doing the packing. Instead of saying that he would be guiding, he told I will be doing the packing. So there was a confusion between them. Well, children, I told you packing is not a easy thing. It seemed a longer job than I had thought it was going to be, but I got the bag finished at last. Now, children, finally, it took a very long time in packing, but then I had a thought it was going to be. Now, he know that packing would take longer time, but I got the bag finished at last and I sat on it and strapped it. Well, anyhow, he had packed everything in the bag and finally he strapped. Strap means he tied with strap. "Aren't you going to put the boots in?" said Harris. "Aren't you going to put the boots in?" said Harris, and I looked round and found I had forgotten them. That's just like Harris. He could not have said a word until I would got the bag shut and strapped, of course. And George laughed. One of those irritating, senseless laughs of his. They do make me so wild. Well, children, he took a long time to pack. Finally, the bag was packed and he strapped it. That means he tied with the straps. And then suddenly his friend told, "Aren't you going to put the boots in?" That means you have forgotten to put the boots in. And I looked around and I found I had forgotten them. Now see, this was a blow to him. Then he told, I looked around and found that he had forgotten to keep the boots. That was an important part for their trip. That was a very useful, that would be, wearing those boots was the very useful thing in their trip. That just like Harris, he could not have said a word until I got the bag shut and strapped. Now he felt very angry with Harris. He told why he could not said earlier. Already he had packed the bag and he had strapped the bag, so he was feeling a bit irritated. And children, the worst thing happened. That his friend George laughed. One of those irritating, senseless laugh of his. Now, children, he was not able to tolerate that irritating, senseless laugh. He felt he is making fun of him. They do make me so wild. That means he felt that he is laughing at me. He is making fun of me. Well, anyhow, he did not say because it was his mistake. So he did not say anything to them. Well, I opened the bag and packed the boots in. Now, simply he opened the bag and he put the boots inside the bag, and then just as I was going to close it, a horrible idea occurred to me. And children, when he was going to close that bag, when he was going to strap those bags, suddenly an idea came to him. It occurred to him, had I packed my toothbrush? Now he told, did I pack my toothbrush? And toothbrush is a thing which everybody needs in the morning and at night, and that is a time that mostly all the shops are closed, and that is a time that the whole market is closed. So he is a bit nervous. He is not able to remember whether he has put his toothbrush or not. Okay, many times he had forgotten to put his toothbrush. I don't know how it is, but I never do know whether I have packed my toothbrush. Now children, he is telling ki, I never do know whether I have packed my toothbrush. My toothbrush is a thing that haunts me when I am traveling. So he is telling, my toothbrush is a thing that haunts me when I am traveling and make my life a misery. So children, he is telling that while traveling he often forget his toothbrush and make his life miserable. All right. So this is the most common thing with him. I dream that I haven't packed it and wake up in a cold perspiration and get out of bed and hunt for it. Now children, he had dreamed that he haven't packed it and wake up in a cold perspiration and get out of bed and hunt for it. And in the morning I pack it before I have used it. Now children, in the morning I have packed it before I have used it and have to unpack again to get it. Now children, he knew that he was dreaming. In fact, he was here, dream means thinking, that he felt that he hasn't packed the toothbrush. And so what he is doing, he is forgetting the toothbrush, and now he is thinking my toothbrush is a thing that haunts me when I am traveling. Now he is telling, he is sharing his some very important thing of his life, that whenever he is traveling, it haunts to me. He often used to feel that he had forgotten to pack his toothbrush and make my life a misery. He felt very miserable because without toothbrush it is very difficult to live without toothbrush. I dreamed that I haven't packed it, and many and children, when he used to sleep during traveling, he used to dream that he had never packed his toothbrush and wake up in a cold perspiration. Now children, because children, in a journey, no, you cannot go and buy a toothbrush. In a journey you will never get toothbrush. It is not that thing that you will be getting in a train or in a shop. So he used to feel a cold perspiration because he used to feel nervous that without brush how he's going to form, how he's going to do the other things like eating and all that thing, and get out of bed and hunt for it. And he used to get up and he used to hunt for it because he was not able to remember whether he has kept it or not kept it. And in the morning I pack it before I have used it and have to unpack again to get it, and it is always the last thing I turn out of the bag, and then I repack and forget it and have to rush upstairs for it at the last moment and carry it to the railway station. And children, sometime, you know what he has to do, he has to unpack whole packing. That means he used to pack everything, and you never used to remember whether he has packed it or not. So he has to unpack the whole thing, and it is always the last thing I turn out of the bag. And children, he takes out each and everything, and finally he take it out, the last thing, which turned out to be the last thing out of the bag. And then I repack it and forget it and have to rush upstairs for it at the last moment and carry it to the railway station. And sometimes children, sometimes he used to forget the brush in the washroom only, and he had to rush upstairs, and then he used to move to the train to the station. And that at the last moment he could only wrap it on the handkerchief. Of course, I had to turn every mortal thing out now. I could not find it. I remarked the things up into much the same state. Now children, every mortal thing means every ordinary thing. So he's telling, I had to turn every mortal things out now. That means he have to turn out every ordinary things now. And of course I could not find it. I remarked the things up into much the same state. Remark means search in a hurried or careless way. Now children, here he is searching his toothbrush in a very careless manner. See children, here you can see poor Zeram sitting, and two of his friend Harry and George, they are laughing at him. Okay, and after repacking, when this thought occurred to me that whether he had packed his toothbrush or not, see how the whole thing is spread. Okay, you can see socks, towels, so many combs, hairbrush, so many things. Okay, and finally let us read what happened. I remarked the things up into much the same state that they must have been before the word was created. Now children, the whole packing used to look like the things when the word was created. So the whole packing used to look like the word was created. I found George and Harris 18 times over, but I could not find my own. Now children, when he unpacked the things, what he had felt, he felt that word, all the thing must have been lying like that when the God must have created the world, everything here and there, and chaos reigned. Of course, I found George and Harris 18 times over, but I could not find my own. Now, children, he found George and Harris toothbrush 18 times, but he could not find his own toothbrush. I put the things back one by one and held everything up and shook. Now, children, he put the things back one by one and he held everything up and shook. Then I found it inside a boot. I repacked once more, and finally, the brush was found inside the boot. And finally, he again, this is the third and fourth time he is doing his packing again. When I had finished, George asked if the soap was in. Now, children, after packing for the third time, he felt more irritated when finally George asked him whether he has kept the soap or not. I said he was so irritated that he said I did not care a hang whether the soap was in or whether it wasn't. Now, children, he was so irritated that he told, I don't care whether the soap was there or not. When I had finished, George asked if the soap was in. I said I did not care a hang whether the soap was in or whether it wasn't. And I slammed the bag shut and strapped it. Now, children, he slammed means he banged the bag in a bad manner, in a loud manner, very forcefully he slammed the bag and shut and strapped it, and found that I had packed my spectacles in it. Now, children, such a horrible situation he has never faced, that after packing the bag for the fourth time, he found that he had forgotten his spectacles in that bag. Okay. So when I had finished, George asked if the soap was in. I said I did not care a hang whether the soap was in or whether it wasn't. Now, he was such an irritated this time because the fourth time he did not want to do the repacking, and I slammed the bag shut and strapped it, and found that I had packed my spectacles in it and had to reopen it. But since his spectacles was there, so he was helpless, and this is the fourth or fifth time he is reopening the bag. It got shut up finally at 10:05 p.m. Finally, he was able to pack everything at 10:05 p.m. And then there remained the hampers to do. Hampers means, children, now the basket where food should be kept, that was going to be packed. And then there remained the hampers to do. Harry said that we should be wanting to start in less than 12 hours. Now, it was Harry's idea that very soon we will start okay, in less than 12 hours time, and thought that he and George had better do the rest. Now, he told you can pack that food also, and I and George will better take the rest. I agreed and sat down, and they had to go. Now, finally he agreed and he sat down and they had to go. They began in a light-hearted spirit, evidently intending to show me how to do it. Now, children, these people, his friend, they were in a very light-hearted spirit, evidently intending to show me how to do. Evidently means clearly, and intending means thinking. Clearly, they want to think to show, intend to do, show me how to do it. I made no It irritated them more than anything I could have said. I felt that it made them nervous and excited, and they stepped on things and put things behind them, and they could not find them when they wanted them. Now, children, when he told it made them nervous when he told them that they could never put the things properly, and children, they occasionally they used to step on things and put things behind them, and then could not find them when they wanted them, and they packed the pies at the bottom. Children, pies are the soft pieces of sweets. It should be kept up in the basket. So these people, his friend Tom and Harris, George and Harris, they used to put the pies at the bottom, and after that they used to put heavy things, and the result was it smashed all the pies in it. So he agreed once again to pack the food basket, because he knew that how what a mess they will what a mess they will do when they will be packing the basket. Like they had already done, the example has been given to you about the pies. The soft pies was kept at the bottom and heavy things were put on the top, and which smashed all the pies. So children, today with this I end the first part of the video here, and tomorrow I will continue with the other part. Thank you and have a nice day ahead.